Okay, this is something I haven't heard too much about, but apparently, it's something that's going to happen sometime within the next couple of years or so. But we're supposed to be getting a Pac-Man movie, and I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be released. I'm not exactly sure who's producing it or what the budget for the movie is going to be. But I do find it interesting that we're getting a Pac-Man movie, considering the fact that, like at this point, Pac-Man, despite how legendary the series is, it's basically become irrelevant like within the past like decade, because even though like there have been like several like Pac-Man games that have come out within the past decade and like the 2000s, and all that stuff. Pac-Man kind of became a thing of the past following like the arcade era, because in terms of like popularity peaks, I would say like the 80s was probably the peak of the Pac-Man series. And even though Pac-Man makes like cameos in like movies and in games and stuff like that, um I don't recall a particular time period um where Pac-Man has become so popular to a point where it has exceeded the realm of gaming. And like even though like Pac-Man is like it's somewhat popular in like in pop culture and all that stuff. Um, I don't think Pac-Man was ever on the same level as Super Mario or Sonic or Tomb Raider or anything like that in terms of popularity. Because you look at Pac-Man, the gameplay for the original Pac-Man is so basic, and like the genre is so obsolete. And yeah, I know that we've gotten 3D Pac-Man games over the past like 2 decades or whatever, but a lot of people kind of like the older Pac-Man better, because that's pretty much what propelled the franchise into the level of popularity that is in right now. And I'm not exactly sure how you would be able to tell a good story with Pac-Man, because for the most part, like Pac-Man, at least like the older Pac-Man wasn't heavily story driven. I know there was like 3D like Pac-Man games that had stories and all that stuff, but those didn't necessarily resonate well with a lot of people, because it started off as something that was very basic, and it was about eating pretty much pellets and all that stuff. And then you had like 3D games that had stories, and you had Miss Pac-Man, you had all this stuff. But but yeah, I'm not exactly sure how this would work. I heard it's supposed to be like a live action movie, but I don't know. Like in theory, it sounds cool. In practice, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be executed. The last major cameo that I saw Pac-Man in, or the last major movie I saw Pac-Man in, was the Pixels movie from 2015, and that was a movie that ended up getting a much better reception than I thought it would. And like for the most part, I do feel that after that film, more people would probably be interested in seeing Pac-Man on the big screen. But at the same time, having a self-titled Pac-Man movie is something that's kind of, I'm not exactly sure about that. But I mean, who knows? It could be something that exceeds many people's expectations in the future.